Hey guys, welcome to today's reading. This one is all about a message from your future spouse. So, we are going to be tuning into your future husband or wife, seeing what they have to say to you, seeing what they want you to know, and getting a special message from them for you. Today, we have a selection of crystals. So, if you're new to this channel, welcome. I'm so happy to have you. Basically, you're going to see which of these crystals is sticking out to you, calling your name, drawing your attention in towards it. And then as soon as you make up your mind, just scroll down to the timestamps and the comments and the description and jump right into your pile. By the way, if you like how I read tarot, you can head to my Patreon to see all my additional readings. There are over 100 exclusive readings you'll only get access to on Patreon. I just posted a reading all about who is obsessing over you, as well as one about your past lives and how that affects your life now. But there is so much content to choose from over on Patreon. Like I said, over 100 readings, and you get early access to my YouTube videos. So if that sounds good to you and you'd like to join me on Patreon, head to the link underneath the timestamps in the comments and the description, and I would love to see you there. Also, if you would like to book a private session with me, you can do that at my website, briarrosetarot.com. Whether you're looking for a tarot reading, astrology reading, an open channeling session, whether you want it to be a quick 30-minute reading or a full hour-length reading, whether you want it to be pre-recorded or live, you get to really customize your time with me, so it's the perfect session for you. If that sounds good and you'd like to sign up, head to my website, briarrosetarot.com, and the link for that is in my description. So thanks for watching, guys. Now, if you need more time to decide, you can totally feel free to rewind, pause, and take as much time as you need, but we're going to go ahead and jump into pile one. Hey, pile one, welcome to your reading. So you guys got animals, willpower, and well-being. So I feel like your future spouse is just saying that they have seen the work you put in, and they have seen how much effort you have gone into transforming yourself, dealing with trauma, dealing with shadow work, dealing with past life issues. The way you have committed to leveling up and improving yourself, that's coming across so strong. And I feel like this person is saying they are so proud and so happy, and their higher self is saying this person is going to reap the rewards of all the hard work you've put in. So trust me, it's going to pay off. It does feel to me like this soul, this future spouse, is very ascended, very wise, very enlightened. Maybe they've done a lot of shadow work themselves, or they're just a very old soul. But I almost feel like you're leveling up to kind of be able to meet them where they are. Not that this person doesn't have any work to do and they're totally perfect. But I do feel like they are coming across as a very benevolent, wise old soul, and it's almost like you're capable of all that, and you're meeting them where they're at. So you are growing up, glowing up, improving yourself, and I feel like that is going to culminate in meeting this person. And you guys may be destined to live out some kind of major mission together, to transform the collective together. I feel like this person's energy is just so calm, loving, protective, very gentle, and they do feel like an older energy. Maybe just their soul is older, maybe not in human years, they may not be older, but their soul feels very old, very wise. And I feel like they are also wanting to remind you of your worth with this well-being card. They want you to know how special you are, and they also want to give you that message that if anyone, particularly in like a romantic situation, is not making you realize how special and how perfect and how incredible you are, if anyone is speaking to you with words of harshness or not thinking you're freaking amazing, then basically that person is not for you, because I feel like this person is going to receive you with such joy. And they're saying, no, 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 they want to correct what I just said. They're saying, oh no, it's not just me. Like, if you were to meet pile one, trust me, they're just a catch to anyone. Like, anyone can see that they're such a catch. They actually are coming through with this message that you guys may, because you are such a catch on so many levels, you're attractive, you're smart, you're very wise, you're loving, you may encounter all kinds of people who feel like it's in their best interest to knock you down a few pegs and make you question yourself, make you doubt yourself, whether those people are jealous or envious or resentful of you and they're just being competitive, or whether those are people that actually may try to date you, want to be with you, but then treat you badly as a means to bring you down, to make you question yourself so that you'll stay with them. Whoever is directing that kind of energy towards you, whenever you see that energy, this person, your future spouse, really wants you to know that is such a sign that they are not on your level. And I think the reason why this person is bringing up wisdom so much, because they're bringing through a lot of messages, which actually doesn't surprise me, because what I found doing personal readings is a lot of times if someone is very connected to the other side, they meditate a lot, they're very spiritual, they will have a very strong force field around them and a way of, it's easier for me to like access their spirit guides, to be honest. And I feel like this person's spirit guides are so powerful, so strong around them. Maybe they meditate, maybe they do spiritual work. But the other message they want to deliver is, I feel like both of you guys are kind of spiritual guides. Both of you guys are very leveled up. Both of you are probably old souls and have a very deep divine spiritual mission on this planet. And whenever that happens, people naturally can sense this energy and they can flock to this person because they know they're a healer. So just like sick people go to the hospital or show up at the doctor's office, they can get people who aren't as leveled up, who are really craving spiritual transformation, spiritual growth. But the thing is, spiritual growth is a very long process. It's a painful process. It's time consuming. It will challenge you to the depth of your core, your soul. So not everyone can handle it. Sometimes people think they can sign up for it and then they're like, oh, no, this is way too hard. And why am I saying all this? I feel like for some of you guys, you have a tendency to date people who like need you, or people who are maybe less spiritually evolved than you, and you kind of try to fix them, transform them, change them. Your future spouse wants you to know you don't have to do that. That's not your job. And I feel like your future spouse has probably dealt with that issue themselves, because this is where you guys are very aligned. You're both very spiritually evolved. You're both very spiritually grown up and high level, to be honest. And you're dealing with those high level issues. And this person is saying it's going to be important, if you guys are going to actually align together in the physical in this lifetime, that you learn to not take on those burdens that aren't yours. And actually, I'm seeing the image of like driving down a highway and there's a bunch of exits and you have the opportunity to take this exit, that exit. And I'm seeing specifically if you ever take like I-40, the old Route 66 through like New Mexico and Arizona, there's long stretches of land where there's exits, but they really don't go to anything that you could access. A lot of times they may go to Native American reservations, but you're not allowed to go on those unless you belong to the reservation, I think. And there's no gas stations. It's not like, oh, let me drive off on this exit and find a nice diner and I'm just gonna browse around and find a cute cafe, because there's nothing there. There's just exits that lead to nothing. And yes, I've made that mistake where I've been like, oh, there's gotta be something here. Let me take this exit. I kind of want to take a pause. I'm hungry. And then there's literally nothing. And you kind of realize after driving for like a few minutes, okay, no, back to the highway. And it's just kind of a waste of time, right? And that's what Spirit is showing me is, I think sometimes when you have this ascended of a spiritual energy, it can almost create a frenzy with other people and they can be very drawn to you. Animals may also be drawn to you, and that's one of the ways you can know that you have a lot of spiritual gifts or a spiritually ascended quality to you. And I feel like, when you have those gifts, you can have people who flock to you, people who act like they need you, and, they're just overwhelmingly coming towards you. And it can feel, on one hand, very flattering, but you'll notice that when you're around those people, you feel drained. You feel like you don't have your energy. You feel like, I don't really have the same happiness or vibe that I did before, and my energy is being drained out of me. And what this future self, future partner is showing me is that highway and how it goes for miles, and there's all these exits, and you might get sick of driving and you might be like, oh, I want a break, I'm hungry, where's a gas station, I just want to grab a snack, or I just isn't there some restaurant I can stop at, I don't care if it's not fancy, I just want some food. But there isn't one. And you just have to kind of accept that and keep driving down that highway, the main road, and avoid taking those exits. And those are detours that are just going to waste your time. And that's what I'm seeing with this person, is they are saying that they are very ascended, and this person I feel like is going to want to like provide for you, even if it's just emotionally, but they are a giver. They are very stand up of a person. And I feel like you guys attract a lot of people who kind of tug on you, need things from you. They don't really give as much as they take, and energetically, even like they're energetically kind of draining you. And I feel like for you, it's going to be very important for you to keep your head on straight and not allow yourself to get off on those detours that are just going to waste your time, waste your energy. And if you spend long enough at that detour, you might never get back on the highway. So it's really important that we kind of keep our head on straight. That is the first message coming through for you guys. Let me get into some tarot for you, pile number 1. So we want to know what messages pile number 1's future spouse has for pile 1. Okay, so this is the 3 of Swords. Yeah. So that could definitely be a lot of heartbreak. Page of Pentacles. The 4 of Wands. Your future spouse is just like laughing. They're like, oh my gosh, pile number 1 is so much fun. Such a blast. So beautiful to be around. They're saying they love the sound of your laugh. The Magician. And the 8 of Cups. Okay, reversed. Yeah, I feel like because you are such a very ascended soul, you're probably very empathetic or psychic. You can probably read other people's emotions and feelings, and that may make it very hard for you to leave certain situations behind. With this 8 of Cups reversed, it may make it very hard for you to like say no or leave someone, because you are such a deeply empathetic, kind person. And you may find it very hard to kind of casually date because you tend to get emotionally invested. And what your future spouse wants you to know is like, that is a beautiful thing about you, and it's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. It's nothing for you to be embarrassed about. It's nothing for you to look and feel like you need to change it or there's something wrong with it. But with the right person, you're just going to feel like, I'm so glad I'm empathetic. I'm so glad I'm psychic. I'm so glad I can energetically tune into this other person because I feel so fulfilled by them. My energy just feels so like exalted and happy. And I will say again, it's interesting that I keep having my private readings brought up in my mind. Maybe some of you guys have gifts of being like possible tarot readers or psychics or whatever. I could definitely see that for some of you guys. But I've noticed in personal readings, it's just so funny because everyone definitely has their own energetic imprint. And I think I kind of knew that before I did, private readings. Like obviously you can tell, oh, this waiter seems stressed, but a lot of times those things happen and it's almost like you don't even know where the energy is coming from. Like the waiter comes over and she's talking to you and you just feel suddenly stressed, and you don't know if it's because of you or maybe because, oh yeah, I just remembered this work thing and that's stressing me out. Or you get just really energetically overwhelmed when you're in a crowd, but you don't really know, is this me? Is this coming from other people? And you might take it as like, oh, I was just in a bad mood. And what I have found is like, it's wild doing the private readings because you might be like really struggling through the day and just feeling so tired, so exhausted. And something about the reading is just, even if someone's nice, like you're just like, oh, this is hard. And then you tune into someone else and their energy is like a shot of energy, or just, it's like suddenly you feel like you took 12 energy drinks or a cup of coffee or whatever, and suddenly the energy is super high and high vibrational, and just like, it's just like this rush. And I'm not saying, I don't even know what that is. I don't know if some people just have more energy than others, and that's not necessarily good or bad for the other person, or it's something about the light they exude. I don't know what it is, but what I will say is I do feel like with this person, you are going to be able to keep your energetic gates wide open, and they are not going to drain you. They are not going to be this tax on you that you may have felt in the past. So that's going to be a way for you to know there's nothing wrong with you. Spirit wants you to know that if you've had failures in past relationships, or if you felt like, oh, this person wants a lot from me, or I'm always giving, or I'm always over giving. I feel like that's something you've almost had to deal with, because this future self is saying people kind of get crazy about you, and they may obsess over you. They may get very possessive over you. And some of it is people who know you're kind of out of their league emotionally or spiritually or energetically, and they are trying to lock you down. They're trying to get you, locked into place, because they know that they're not actually an energetic match. So anyone who is not treating you with the utmost amount of love and giving you, that feeling of just being blissed out and happy and calm and peaceful, that's probably a sign that that person is not for you as well. I feel like this person is saying you guys are just going to have so much fun together. I could see you guys traveling the world together, exploring so many different things, going so many different places. And this person wants to point out that you are that master manifester with the Magician card coming out. You are so spiritually on point. And I feel like what's funny is sometimes you guys can have that kind of Neptunian, moon energy, water energy that can come across a little spacey, where sometimes people may underestimate you, see you as the Queen of Swords reverse, see you as like, oh, they're not that smart, or they're not actually, listening, or I don't know, they don't understand. And they don't understand. They're the ones who don't understand. That actually you are picking up on everything, but you may not express it in like the most verbal way, or you may not be the person who wants to go into all the numbers and everything, but that doesn't mean you're not super smart and you're not aware of everything on such a deep level. This person is more spiritually ascended, so they are more capable to understand the complexities of your energy, and they just want you to know that they really don't want you. They keep mentioning this. They do not want you wasting your time with people who are beneath you. I keep getting that from this person. It's almost very important for them. And what they are saying is that you might not be able to actually come into alignment with them until you learn that lesson of boundaries. I mentioned this before in readings, but I'm feeling the need to mention it again, where a huge lesson for me, and when I was kind of on my spiritual journey, and had been, but I really thought that, the more I gave to people, the better it was, the better karma I'd get. And I needed to just give, give, give. So I would end up really over giving away my energy really fruitlessly in retrospect. If there was any homeless person on the street, I would stop and talk to them for like, 20 minutes. I would give them my money, which I think is fine to give money, but I would spend so much energy, and I would like pray with them, or I would do this for so many different people, like friends, whatever. If they were having a rough day, they knew I was the one to call. I was the one to talk them through it. And I think this came out of a need I had in myself to spiritually give and to help the collective, but I would end up directing it at random towards just like some needy person who maybe had a lot of issues, and I would be trying to help them, trying to talk to them. And I didn't understand why I felt like things in my life weren't moving forward, because I was like, I have really good karma. And it finally was being so screwed over. I wish I could say the exact specifics, because it's so crazy how specific it was, that I gave and gave and gave to this person. And then they ended up screwing me over so badly. And that was my final lesson that I had to learn, that there was nothing good about what I was doing. What I thought of as being so noble, over giving, not having boundaries up, not listening to my intuition with like, stay away from this person, I feel drained around them. I thought that was like, wow, I'm being so spiritual, I'm being so kind. And what I had to realize was I was not being kind to myself, and my guides, angels, ancestors care about me. They're my guide, so they do care about me. And what I had to realize was there was no goodness in not having boundaries. There was no nobility in overgiving, or feeling like I needed to give everyone access, or not prioritizing my own needs, my own self. And I feel like you guys needed to hear that message, because this person is saying like, you may think it's cute. This is kind of harsh, I guess, but you may think it's cute to like overgive or like, well, yeah, I dated that guy and he's kind of a loser. He didn't have a job and I let him move in or whatever this, it may not be that dramatic, but like, yeah, I don't think he was on my level, but I don't know. I was trying to be nice and I thought, and it's like this person is saying, no way. Like, you need to stop doing that in order to be on my level to date me, because you do need to master the energy of boundaries. You do need to master the energy of saying no or telling someone that, like, no, that I'm good here, or no, you can't have access to my life, no matter how hurtful you may feel doing that, no matter how hard that may be. This person is a very spiritually ascended soul who has already mastered a lot of these lessons, and they don't want to be with someone who doesn't get this, especially because both of you guys are so ascended. So this person does need to have a partner with boundaries, because once you guys get together, it's almost like it's going to be a spiritual frenzy. People are going to sense when you walk into the room this resonance of like, oh, wow, who are those people? They just feel very wise. There's something different about them. And if you're that person that's giving away your energy all the time, has no boundaries up, that's the equivalent of like having a house with no windows, no doors, just anyone can walk in at any old time. If you have valuables in that house, they're going to be gone pretty quick. This person is a valuable, you're a valuable, both of you guys have these valuable, powerful gifts. And so it's like, if you're not going to be protective, if you're not going to be willing to stand up and say, no, this isn't working, then you're actually a liability to this person. So they're emphasizing that really strongly, that they want to make sure you have the ability to say no, and that you're not accepting any behavior that is beneath you. So anyone who's not treating you right, anyone who's not bringing value to your life, they want you to be almost ruthless. And that's what this person is really emphasizing. Let me get some message cards for you. Messages from your person for pile 1. I want to protect you. This protection theme is a big deal for them, and I feel like that goes both ways. Not that they kind of like want you to protect them necessarily, especially I feel like, if it's a guy to you, if you are a woman and you are interested in men, the guy obviously takes on the role of protection most of the time. But I do feel like this person is saying, like, hey, don't put me at risk. Don't let anyone into this situation. If you're that person that can't tell anyone no, it's bringing to my mind, when we're kids, how mom will be like talking with her friends or talking to some random lady at church, and we end up standing there for like 15 minutes tugging on her sweater, trying to like, mom, let's go, and how frustrating it is. And I feel like this person is just saying, like, I don't have the energy for that, and I need someone who is going to protect my energy, who's not going to be that liability that like, hey, babe, I met this person and they're my friend, and yeah, they're a little sketchy, but like, they really don't like that and they don't think it's cute. And honestly, I think they're coming across harsh as that, but I kind of get it, because I felt like my guides were so harsh with me when I wouldn't stop energetically just giving, giving, giving. And I thought that was such a great thing. And they were just, I swear, that was some of the harshest punishments. So for some reason, spirituality, it is not a big fan of the whole, I'm going to overgive, I'm going to give everything away energy. And this person is emphasizing that they want someone who's a strong partner, not a liability. So this one says, I was searching for you for so long. Okay. I love the family we've created. So you guys may create a family together. Life with you is so much fun. And let me get this one. Says, I can't wait to start a family with you. So they definitely seem like they want a family with you. And no one gets me the way you do. And I think that's a big thing that you guys have in common. I'm hearing So High School by Taylor Swift, where she's like, no one's ever had me not like you. And I think in a way, you guys are able to have that relationship because you are on the same level. You guys are both spiritually ascended. You are both very wise and very intuitive. So you're not, I think both of you guys are used to like talking down to people, not talking down in a condescending way, but it's like you're used to dealing with people who aren't quite on your level. And it's kind of like such a relief. Like, how, have you ever seen a couple that's like both of them are really, really tall? Like he's, I don't know, 7 feet tall and she's 6'3" or something, or I don't know, he's 6'5" and she's 6 foot. Kind of like, that's funny, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelsey, because yeah, that she wrote that song about him. And I think in more ways than one, he's kind of more on her level, right? Because he's got his own money to an extent that a lot of her exes did not. He's got his own fame. Obviously, he's not as famous as her, but I mean, who else is in the world? And yeah, they seem very matched in terms of how they like to act in public. They kind of like to like party and have fun with their friends. And yeah, so my point is that I feel like it's always so happy when you kind of see like those couples that are both super tall and you're like, oh, you guys just fit together. And you think that must be really nice for him. He doesn't have to crane his neck down. No offense to the short girls. I mean, I'm not super tall myself, so I've definitely dated taller guys, and I think both of those sides of the equation can be super cute. The tall guy with the short girl, or the tall guy and the tall girl. But when you see the like equally matched height couple and they're both tall, you kind of think, gee, I bet she's never had a boyfriend that she could feel so safe and protected by, that like is so much taller than her and can wrap his arms around her and just make her feel so cherished like that. And she's never had that experience before. And for the guy, I bet he's, kind of used to like being with maybe a smaller girl, and she's, he has to like bend his neck down a little. And, some guys like that, but it's probably also really nice to him to have like someone on his same height that he doesn't have to bend over to whisper in her ear or anything. You know what I mean? And it's always kind of like, oh, that's sweet. And that's what I'm seeing for you guys when it comes to your spirituality. Like, I feel like both of you guys are so tuned in, so psychic. It's almost like you can communicate without speaking to each other, without saying things out loud. And both of you guys are on the same path. And there's a lot of things you may have had to explain to past partners. You may have had to talk to past partners about like the law of attraction, or explaining Eckhart Tolle, or explaining Abraham Hicks, or whatever. And now it's like, oh, like you already read all those books. Awesome. Or I don't have to talk to you about like meditation or high vibrational foods or crystals, or you get that stuff, or you're just intuitively, you pick it up so fast. You're so spiritual, even if you're not in the spiritual community and you don't call yourself that, but you get those things and you're very wise. And I feel like that is such a relief with this person, such a feeling of just like almost coming home, or yeah, finding where you belong. And I was also thinking that with all the family cards, you guys may belong to the same soul tribe, soul family on the other side. I want to get some astrological placements for pile one with their future spouse. Ooh, so we have Pluto, the ninth house in Sag. Oh, double Sagittarius. And this one is Aries, because I spun it again because I don't like the doubles. So we have Sagittarius, Scorpio, and Aries. So lots of Mars energy, 2 Mars ruled signs. And then we have Sag, double fire as well. So let's start with Sag. I'm not surprised at all that Sag came through, because that is a super wise energy. And it came through twice. And Sagittarius does rule higher education, higher learning, spirituality to a certain extent, a lot of spiritual knowledge. I feel like you guys are united in that. You guys probably may enjoy taking vacations where you learn about the local culture, learn about the local history. Maybe it's not just both of you guys want to party on vacation and like get drunk, but it's like, oh, let's go take this like historical tour, or let's learn about these antiques, or let's take like a deep meditation course with this person, or whatever. And you guys, I feel like, sign up to just improve yourself. Both of you guys are very spiritually focused, and I feel like that's a major thing that you unite on. Like I was saying, you may have a psychic connection with this person, and Pluto definitely talks about that. Pluto, of course, rules over Scorpio. It's an extremely psychic energy, and Scorpio, of course, is the 8th house of shared resources. So that can be someone who really brings value to your life and really makes you sometimes able to achieve your dreams. Like I said, this can be the difference between dating someone who drains your energy versus someone who feeds your energy. There can be such an energetic difference. Like for me, I don't think I would probably do this if it wasn't for one of my best friends in life, who was the first who ever taught me the very basics of how to read a natal chart, which wasn't really even a thing at the time. Now I feel like everyone knows to check your like Mercury sign and astrology or whatever. But he, when we were like super young, was the one who was like, no, you have to look up all your signs, and here you can go to this website and get a list of your signs, and then you can do the research yourself. And that, even though he didn't really know as much in retrospect, where I'm like, yeah, I don't think he knew the whole thing that of like how to read an astrological chart or anything, but he kicked me off on that path and I just ran with it and was like fascinated. And it's amazing how having someone who's also into spirituality or also into whatever can just make you go so much faster on your journey. And I feel like for you guys, there's so much in common, and this person may literally be able to give you money or give you resources in some way with the eighth house energy coming through. They may be able to help provide for you financially, or just usher you into like this new existence, this new world, new connections, new knowledge. And the eighth house, of course, also connects with sexuality. So you guys may have a very deep sexual connection with each other as well. Then we have Aries. Aries is Mars. It's the first house. It's the house of your self-identity. I definitely feel like this person is saying for you to be strong with those boundaries, to protect yourself, to look out for yourself, to prioritize yourself over others, and not to overgive to the point where you are trying to compromise or you're looking out for what someone else is going through instead of focusing on what you're going through, what you need. The first house of Aries is the house of I, me, what I want. And I feel like once you've more embraced that, that's when this person is going to align with you, because they are totally okay with you being selfish. They want to kind of serve you to a certain extent. They want to help you on this path. It's not to say you guys are going to have some lopsided relationship, but my point is that they are not the person who is going to take offense that you are, having a self-care day or something like that. They are not going to be the person who's going to demand you give them all your energy, or who's going to feel like you have to be giving to me. This person is very wise, and they want to make sure you're taking care of yourself, looking out for yourself. And that's the version of you that they want, the pampered, happy version. So that is what I have for you, pile number one. I really hope that resonates. If you want to see more of my content, then be sure to check out my Patreon, where there's over, I think, 100 at this point, exclusive readings you'll only find over there. You also get early and ad-free access to all my YouTube videos. I just posted a reading all about who is obsessed with you, as well as one all about your past lives and how they affect you now in your current lifetime. So if you're interested in joining me and signing up for Patreon, getting access to all that exclusive content and early YouTube videos, then you can head on over to the link underneath the timestamps in the comments and the description for Patreon. Also, if you're interested in booking a private session with me, you can do that at my website, briarrosetarot.com. Whether you're looking for a tarot reading, astrology session, open channeling session, whether you want it to be a quick 30-minute reading or a full hour-length reading, whether you want it to be pre-recorded or live, you get to customize your time with me, so it's the perfect session for you. If that sounds good, then head to my website, briarrosetarot.com, and the link for that is in my description. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I'm sending you so much love and light, and I will see you again very, very soon for another reading. Take care, guys. Bye. Hey, pile two, welcome to your reading. So you guys got good luck, confidence, and blessings. So the first thing that's coming through is your person really wants you to have so much confidence in the meantime until you come into union with them. They are saying that if you even had any idea of how attractive you are, how special you are, how incredible this person sees you, you would never tolerate any of the bad behavior. You would never tolerate any like date that isn't planned or thrown together last minute, or any slight disrespect, you would be like, absolutely not. If you knew how perfect this person sees you as, how excited they are to be with you, how much they want to be around you, you wouldn't tolerate any mixed signals. You wouldn't tolerate anyone who is not going to be 100% enthusiastic. And they really want you to start viewing yourself through the lens of how they view you, which is as like perfect, super sexy, super gorgeous, super attractive, and just someone who has it all. So, why would you tolerate anything less than the best? I feel like this person is going to want to spoil you, possibly literally with like financial gifts, with this blessings card, or just emotionally with their energy. But I feel like they kind of dream about making your life happy, making you happy, putting a smile on your face, making your life easy. I feel like this person, first of all, what they are saying right now so loudly is nothing you're asking for is unreasonable, nothing you're asking for is crazy, nothing you're asking for is too much. And I feel like this person is going to be more than happy to fulfill that. They're also sending me a message for some of you guys that you're going to be so happy you waited. You're going to be so happy you didn't settle, especially if it's with a person who gives mixed signals or who acts like, yeah, like you're attractive, but blah, 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 could be different. Or, you know, yeah, I like you, but I don't know, maybe I'm not ready for like any BS, anything other than coming correct. This person is like rolling their eyes, being like, absolutely not. It's almost like they're laughing. It's almost like they're saying these people are clowns, and I see them as a clown. And one day you will laugh with me. You will laugh back at them and be like, oh my God, I can't believe I ever dealt with that. I can't believe I ever gave that a pass, because I feel like your life is going to be so different with this person. Your life is going to be so higher level. I feel like this person really has their ish together financially and in terms of their obligations and responsibilities in life. They're very good at managing, like I said, their obligations. They're very good at living up to what's expected of them, and they know they have to do certain things, and they're not going to grumble about it. They're not going to complain. Like I feel like, to be honest, if you're a woman and you're watching a reading, about your future husband, then I feel like, they are definitely not going to be that guy that's like, hey, can we go 50-50 on the date or whatever. Like, they are going to be happy to pay for the date. They are going to be happy to spoil you or bring you flowers or whatever. And if you look back and you're like, oh my God, that guy had to beg to bring me flowers, that guy I had to always go half with, or that person that would tell me that, like, no, we can't go to the movies, it's too expensive, or you know what I mean? Well, maybe if you pay for me, then we can go. This person is just laughing like, oh my God, like the clowns are out in force. They just keep shaking their head, being like, this is so ridiculous. I can't even believe this person has no shame to act this way. And in their mind, it's like not even real. Like it's like a joke or like an act. Like they can't believe that anyone would ask that of you, because in their mind they're like, you've got to be kidding. Like that's not how you act when you're serious about a person. And I feel like this person just knows how to come correct. They just know how to treat you well. They just know how to make you kind of have a smile on your face, or it's like, I feel like it's what they're saying is, it's not even like I'm doing anything that crazy. They're like, this is basic stuff. Like the stuff I'm doing, yes, I appreciate, I love the praise, but it's also like, of course I would bring you flowers, of course I would pay for the date, of course I would give you a compliment and tell you look beautiful. How did you ever deal with anyone who wasn't doing that? So their message is, they want you to know that you do not need to be settling. You do not need to be lowering your standards. You do not need to be tolerating any of this BS. And if someone truly isn't coming correct, all the way correct, and by that I mean, making clear their intentions, like no beating around the bush of like, well, I don't really know what I want, and I'm kind of, I don't know, I was thinking of being single for now, but then I like you. I don't want to stop dating you. I don't want to stop sleeping with you. Like any nonsense like that, absolutely not. Any kind of like weird, I always think it's funny because I find whether it's in a romantic relationship or even friendships or at a workplace, it doesn't have to be romantic relationships, but in every aspect of life, it's always those red flags that you see. It's always the small comments. It's always looking back like and realizing, oh my God, that energy was there all along. Like I remember the most toxic boss I had who really screwed me over. She was toxic to like everyone and she did it a lot at the beginning. And I would kind of think, well, she's being toxic. She's talking to this person in a really crazy way, but I don't know them. And maybe that dynamic existed in the office before me, and maybe he wasn't doing his work. Or I would think, well, that thing that happened, that's a little crazy. Like the fist fight that happened in this office literally happened in the office. And people were throwing around racial slurs, and it was like literally the craziest thing I've ever seen in an office. And that fight was obviously like a huge red flag. Should have been my cue to just bounce, but I was like, well, and I remember the boss coming to talk to me specifically. Maybe she knew I was freaked out, to say like, I really apologize. That's not normal. And I was like, oh, yeah, yeah, it was a little stressful, but I'm glad everyone's okay. Anyway, the point is I look back now and I'm like, duh, that was such a huge red flag. But so much of the time we rationalize, we just see it as like, oh, it's a small thing, or it didn't involve me because I wasn't in that fight and I wasn't even in the room, but I heard it down the hallway. But my point is so much of the time you are like, well, that was a crazy event, or that was weird, that thing they said, or that was kind of dysfunctional way of handling things. But then you think, well, they didn't mean it, or they were really nice, or they came up and apologized to me, or they said that it never happens, or they said it was a one-time thing. So it probably was. And I'm just going to kind of like, I'm just going to kind of soldier on and put on those rose colored glasses and pretend it's all good, even though I feel this unsettling feeling in my stomach, or even though I get nervous, even though I don't really feel safe in this situation. And I feel like this person is really calling out any of those of you who have that tendency. Maybe some of you guys are like Pisces, like me, because we definitely put on those rose-colored glasses, to ignore, to put a nice spin on it, to put a positive spin, to be like, oh, it's all good. No, it's fine. It's whatever. And ignore your intuition. Ignore that you know deep down that it's not okay. Yeah, that is definitely a behavior that I feel like this person is saying, don't do that, because I am going to come correct. I am going to treat you so well, and I'm going to realize how special and amazing you are. And I am not going to let anyone, like, they don't want to see anyone treating you bad or taking you for granted. That really irritates them. And they're laughing at some of these people that would act this way and being like, what a freaking clown. What an idiot. What a loser. You know, it's funny because I can almost look back and laugh at that workplace now, because I, don't work there anymore. But at the time, all the situations I brought up were kind of traumatic in retrospect. And that's the thing, is even something that can seem like such a big deal at the time, later you can look back and be like, yeah, they were clowns. This was a ridiculous, absurd situation. And I feel like that's what this person is saying for any of you guys who have had to deal with a bad date or a bad partner, or someone that puts you down, or someone that just isn't emotionally supportive, or someone who acts like the things you're asking for in the relationship that should be bare minimum are so crazy. Like you're asking for the sun, the moon, the stars. If you say, oh, like I said, could you bring me flowers? Or I'd really love it if you got me like a birthday gift. Or what are you going to do for my birthday dinner? Or are you going to celebrate Mother's Day for me since, I have kids? Are you going to like bring me a card? And then acting like, oh my God, this is so much. You're going to look back and be like, yeah, that was clownery. And why did I ever buy tickets to that circus? You know what I mean? So, yeah, I feel like this person is saying, don't even waste your time with this. Know your worth, because trust me, this person is not going to be put off by any challenge. They are not going to run away because you asked for the bare minimum. They're going to know, because I feel like this person, and that's what they're saying, is the clowner. And this is, I guess, what I was trying to say with the red flag thing, is you always think, well, that was weird, but hopefully it stops there. Hopefully that was a one-time thing. Hopefully that was really awful and that was crazy. But you know what? I bet that was just a blip and now it's over and hopefully it won't happen again. And that is, obviously I'm laughing because it's so ridiculous, because of course so many dysfunctional things kept happening in that workplace before the final culminating ending, but it was such a crazy, horrible workplace. And I feel like, and by the way, the culminating ending at that place was the lady having me work on Christmas. So I was like, okay, I won't go home to see my family on Christmas Eve. And then she fired me on Christmas Eve. I guess she didn't want me to be on the books for like January or whatever, the new year, which I totally understand. But why would you have me come in Christmas Eve? Like, she was a really horrible person. So I was also away from my family on Christmas. And it was low key traumatic to have that happen that time. Like, it was just so demoralizing. It felt so degrading. But again, when I look back, I kind of have to, I can't, I have to be like, yeah, well, I kind of walked into that one because I definitely got the cues. I definitely got the red flags from spirit. It's not like I hadn't seen dysfunction. It's not like I thought, oh, this is a wonderful workplace and this is so beautiful and the boss is so sane and she's so lovely to everyone. She was crazy. She'd shout at people. The other people at the office, I think, in response to her energy, became crazy. That's when the fist fight happened. Anyway, so yeah, I couldn't even act like, oh my God, I didn't see that red flag because there were so many. And that's my point, is it's never just one area where there's dysfunction. It's always spreading out to like everything. It's never just like, oh, well, just this little one box of dysfunction. There's always like, if there's one dysfunction, there's a million. And I feel like for you guys, this person is saying some of the people you may be tempted to date or that may approach you romantically, it's like if they're, money situation is so bad to the point where they can't afford to take you out and pay for your date, then they've got other dysfunctions. If they don't realize that, they can't talk to you disrespectfully, if they have an anger problem, that's not just going to be a one-time blip, or it's not just going to be contained to, oh, I just got mad that one time, or sometimes I get kind of annoyed and hungry and then I'm grumpy. It's always like it spreads out because mature, responsible people are able to manage their emotions. Mature, responsible people are able to budget their finances. Of course, everyone goes through stressful times, but it's like mature, responsible people are able to figure these situations out and have those systems in place. And I just feel like this person is saying, don't be overly forgiving. Take those things as the red flags that they are. So let me get into some nice little pep talk from this person. Let's get into some tarot for you. Pile number 2. What messages do we have for pile 2's future spouse? I'm telling you, the King of Swords. And the King of Swords, I mean, no one is as smart and as like everything is well thought out and wise as that King of Swords energy. The King of Swords is not going to be chaotic. The King of Swords and the King of Pentacles definitely take the prizes for the least too chaotic of the suit cards, So the King of Swords is going to be very mentally balanced. He's going to be good with his words. He's probably going to be good with money, even though he's not the King of Pentacles. But I mean, just with the sheer level of intelligence, like, how are you not making money? He's very disciplined, and I feel like that's the message is you don't need to be putting up with anyone. What I'm hearing is who's a boy. And of course, I know there's also guys who watch this channel. So your message could just be about, dysfunctional women if you're a straight guy. You don't need to like tolerate that either. But I feel like for those of you guys who, most of my channel is women who watch, you don't need to be putting up with a boy who doesn't know how to do things, doesn't know how to go to work, doesn't know how to budget things, doesn't know how to come correct in a relationship, doesn't know how to buy flowers. It's almost like, but I always hate that if he wanted to, he would, because I always feel like, well, some people aren't capable of that. Some people don't know how to act right. But either way, it's beside the point, because why would you want to tolerate it regardless? If someone doesn't know how to bring you flowers, if someone doesn't have the maturity to be able to talk rationally and calmly in a relationship or in an argument, if someone doesn't have the ability to make you feel beautiful and loved and speak to you in a kind way, then that's really all you need to know. If you're working on yourself, leveling up yourself, making yourself into a good person, making yourself into a mature person, working through your traumas, then that's you're keeping your side of the street clean, so to speak. And all you can ask is that the other partner does the same. And I feel like this person is very together. They have their life in order. They are not in a clownery energy. They're not in a chaotic energy. They're not in a like running around all over the place, messing things up type energy. They just have their act together on a very deep level. And I feel like for you guys, that's what this person is saying is like, why would you even tolerate anything less than this? Okay. Because this person, when they step towards you, you're going to know it's them because they are going to come correct. There's going to be no doubt. There's going to be no mixed signals. And they have their life in order. They are not a chaos goblin. They're not broke. They're not unemployed. You know what I mean? So just know that with this person, you're not going to be doubting, questioning, trying to figure it out. You're going to be like, I know exactly where they stand. They've made it clear. This is another thing. The King of Swords is a great communicator because swords is communication. It's using your words. This person is great with using their words. Or I always hate to hear those relationships where someone will say like, is it bad my boyfriend told me that he's not actually attracted to me and he usually goes for blondes or he usually goes for Asian girls or he usually goes for this type of girl and you don't look anything like that. And then it's like, why would someone say that? Either they're the biggest bozo in the world and they don't know how to just like keep that information to themselves, or they're trying to neg you, they're trying to bring down your self-esteem, they're trying to make you feel bad about yourself. Neither one is a good thing. If they're not attracted to you, they're not attracted to you. And if they are attracted to you, but they're sending you mixed signals and trying to like undermine your confidence, that's a huge red flag. So that's the thing. Whenever there's like weird communication, my boyfriend accidentally insulted me and said this, my boyfriend gets really mean during an argument and says means, none of that is stuff just to be ignored, okay? Like people know how to use their words, they can control their words, they can control their language. And if someone is, I've gotten really mad at people in arguments and still never said certain things that I'm thinking of. And trust me, I have Mercury square Pluto. So if anyone should be able to just lose it all and say whatever, then it's me, right? But I can have that ability, but I also can hold it inside. I have the self-control to be like, don't say that. You can't walk it back once you say that. So I'm not going to do that. That's what a mature human does. So if someone is doing that to you, if someone is talking to you in a mean or rude way, again, red flag. I just feel like this is like a whole list of red flags basically to say this person is not going to be doing that. Let's see what messages we have for pile two's future spouse. The Empress. They find you to be so beautiful. Like they see you as such a prize and a catch. I think, and we got the Nine of Swords. I think that's why they're emphasizing, like, why are you putting up with this? They kind of can't believe it because it's like, oh my God, like, this is such a beautiful person. This is such a catch. I've been waiting for someone like you. I've been wanting someone like you. I've been hoping to meet someone like you. And you're telling me you're putting up with like garbage? This is crazy. This is insane. I feel like for them, they're saying if you are wasting any amount of time on these dusties with that Nine of Swords, they're saying, no, that's just gotta go. And they really want you to like know your worth. They're giving you this encouragement that you're also super smart. You're also super together. And if you're at a place in your life when you're not together, when maybe you're like, well, see, my finances are kind of a mess, or my job situation is a mess, or I'm kind of chaotic right now. It's like, then, I think this person is saying, this is the thing. You have the capacity to work on it. You are very smart too, and you can be disciplined and you can figure it out, and you can transform yourself to be able to not even be in the same realm as these kinds of people anymore. But it's like you're so capable of that, and not everyone is even capable of that. So step into your power, step into your destiny, and don't allow yourself to be bogged down by someone that could never even come close to achieving the kinds of things you're capable of. But yes, they find you to be so beautiful and such a prize. And I feel like this person, they're just saying like, also maybe some of you guys have been called demanding in relationships, or maybe people have said, oh, you expect too much, or you're mean, or you're harsh, or you're argumentative, or whatever. And I feel like, again, there's that message that like, you are not argumentative, and the things you're asking for, trust me, they are not crazy. They are not over the top. You're not asking for, a mountain of gold or something insane. You're asking for everything that you deserve. And that's exactly what you should get. Yeah, I feel like for you guys, you just give off that resonance of maybe top tier person or upper tier person, or someone that, yeah, does deserve a nice life and does deserve to be treated really well and does have their ish together. Even if you don't have it fully together yet, you are so smart and you're capable of that. And you don't need to be tolerating this kind of dust. Let's get into some more cards for you, pile number 2. What messages do we have for pile 2's future spouse? Okay, this one came out 9 of Cups reversed. And then we got 2 cards, the Death card and the 7 of Swords reversed. So interesting, the 9 of Cups reversed, because that can be a card talking about addiction. People who struggle with addictions, people who have addictions. The 9 of Cups upright can also be a card of wishes being fulfilled. So with the 9 of Cups being reversed, it can sometimes be feeling emotionally dysregulated, unhappy, a wish that you wanted not being fulfilled. And I feel like this person is saying, either one, for some of you guys, you may even be dealing with addicts or people who have addiction issues, people who have, I don't know why Pisces keeps coming through in this reading. Maybe some of you guys have Pisces placements, because Pisces does connect with addiction. So like someone who has a Pisces Venus can date people who are addicts. People who have Pisces placements in general can attract addicts, even if they're not an addict themselves and they don't engage in that themselves, but they can sometimes attract people who have addiction issues, because yeah, Pisces kind of get it on some level. They don't like seeing the harshness of the world either. So they can kind of like understand why someone would want to blot everything out with an addiction. But this person is saying, like, you do not need to tolerate that, okay? You do not need to tolerate any bad behavior. And also, this person has, this is a little bit of a complicated message, so I hope I can deliver it accurately from them. But they're saying that some of you guys with the 9 of Cups reversed, it's almost like there's a risk of bitterness creeping in, or of anger, or of like feeling really unhappy, and that bleeding over into kind of blaming, resenting the world, getting mad, getting upset. And I feel like this person is bringing this up because they're trying to say, hey, some of this is your doing. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to sign up for a struggle life. You don't have to sign up for struggle love, or for I'm loving this guy even though he's treating me so bad, or I'm going out on these dates with these dusty guys that treat me horribly, and I happily smile when they say, hey, will you split the check? And I just, take the check and say, yeah, absolutely, I'm happy to do that. You guys don't need to be kind of tolerating that. You know what I mean? You can pull your energy back into yourself, and you don't need to accept or tolerate any behavior that doesn't make you feel truly aligned, worshipped. I mean, the Empress, which is the representation of women and females, I guess this is really turning into like a super gendered reading. But yeah, the Empress represents women, females, femininity, and she's shown in repose in like the Rider-Waite deck. She's laying down, she's relaxed, she's calm, she's collective, because that's what the feminine does. It receives, it gets, it is given to, okay? It doesn't feel like it has to perform. It's good enough as it is, okay? And so for some of you guys, I feel like you need to understand that and realize that you bring so much value already as you are. You are so amazing already as you are. And that's what this person is saying. You don't need to be tolerating any BS. You don't need to be tolerating anyone who doesn't know how to act right, or needs you to teach them how to act right, or needs you to be patient with them because I'm not there yet. I'm really immature right now. I have anger issues right now, but I'm working on them. I'm broke right now, but one day maybe I'll be able to pay for a date and I won't have to borrow money from you. You don't need to tolerate anything, any kind of BS. And for some of you guys, I can hear people being like, oh, well, I would never tolerate that. But there's levels, right? There's levels of not believing in yourself. There's levels of tolerating any kind of nonsense. There's levels of accepting bad behavior in the context of a relationship. There's levels of like, just thinking, this is all I can expect. This is normal. This is just what it is. This is what the dating pool is like. And it's almost like you're hanging out in some nasty public pool that hasn't been cleaned all summer, and there's mold growing in the filter, and, it's just gross, and the pool is cracked and the water's a weird color, and there's a pool right down the road that's like pristine and beautiful, and maybe there's a bit of an entrance fee, but you know what, wouldn't you rather hang out at that pool? And I feel like there's that message for you of like, you don't need to stay in this dating pool, or you don't need to stay tolerating any nonsense. And I feel like this person is just saying when they come, you're gonna know them by how well they treat you, and that they definitely are coming the right way, coming correct. Let's get into some of these cards for you. Pile number 2. I can't help but be jealous of the thought of you with someone else. Okay. This one says, I want to travel the world with you. So, like I said, this person may, especially if this is like a man, may definitely be a provider. You know, they may be someone who they want to spoil you. They want to impress you. They want to take you out for the nice meal. You won't have to apologize about like, I kind of really was craving the steak tonight, but it's kind of price. Is that okay? You won't have to do any of that. You won't have to ask them like, well, I really love flowers and it is my birthday. Would you mind? You know, you're not going to have to beg them to make it exclusive. You're not going to have to beg them for monogamy or to call you or to text you. Okay. This person is going to know how to act right from the jump, and they are going to want to blow you away. They're going to want to impress you. They're going to want to bring their A game. We have the same sense of humor. This is what this person is kind of saying. You know, they say humor is tied to intelligence. I love the family we've created. And this person, I think that's why they keep saying like you're capable, or they want to mention to you that like you, even if you're not there yet, even if you don't have the money yet, even if you don't have the good job yet, even if you don't live in the right perfect area for you yet, but you are capable because you are intelligent as they are. Y'all have the same sense of humor. You have a similar taste. I also think, again, that's a way of matching in relationships, because some couples are like, oh yeah, we split the bill and it's no big deal to me. Or some girls will say like, oh yeah, my husband, he's always out with the boys on Saturday. He goes fishing. Then he comes back and I cook for all of them and I make them hot dogs, and I don't mind. I love taking care of my man. Everyone wants something different in their relationships. And if that works for them, whatever. But my point is, for you guys, I feel like you're on point with what this person expects. Like if you want roses, they want to find a girl who will receive roses. They want to find a girl who wants roses, who knows her stuff around roses, who knows what kind of roses she likes, who has a preference of like long stemmed or short stemmed. They want to find someone who is they're able to spoil. And if you're like, oh yeah, well, I really love going to like the expensive French restaurant. Those are my favorite. I love French food. It's always a little pricier, but I'm down to pay that. But I don't know. Every guy I've dated hates French food and they always say it's too expensive, so we never get to go. And this would be the guy that like also loves French food, loves escargot, and is like thrilled to go with you and thrilled to try the tasting menu and blah, blah, blah. And I feel like for you guys, that's just your message. Like you don't need to settle. If there's someone you have to talk to, transform, change, hope they like you, tell them, win them over with like, no, please, let's give this a shot. I feel like this person, it's just going to be so easy how much you guys are aligned. Let's get some more energy cards. Life with you is so much fun. Yeah, and I feel like that's the thing. There's not a lot of fighting or drama in this relationship. It just feels like you guys have fun together. It feels like you guys enjoy each other. You enjoy each other's time. You enjoy each other's company. You have a blast together, and you may want to start a family together. That may be something this person wants for you. And that's another thing I find is that, when it comes to a lot of people who are looking to start a family, they don't want just the easy. They may want the easy going like, oh, it's fine, whatever, I'll tolerate anything when it comes to dating because that makes their life easy. But when it comes to a life partner, a lot of times people want that person with higher standards, that person with higher boundaries, that person who has excellent, exquisite, high-end taste, so they can teach the kids about high-end taste, so they can give the kids a large vocabulary, so that they can travel and show the kids, Paris, and the person they're with is going to know about French history or be able to teach the kids about it or be able to tell the kids what to eat at the restaurant and not be like, oh my God, I've never eaten at a French restaurant before. And wow, like I'm used to just only eating chicken wings and, fries and, yeah, like burgers or whatever. I'm just only used to hanging out at Arby's. So they want to find someone who is going to be capable of that level of sophistication and has those demands. And I feel like that's what you guys are great at. That you guys, if you have anything where you feel like you've been too much, you've asked for too much, maybe I'm demanding too much, trust me, you're not. And these people are going to be so happy to give you exactly what you need and want. Let's get some astro dice to see the astrological energies at play here. So we have Scorpio, the 7th house, aka Libra, and Saturn, aka Capricorn. So we have Libra, Scorpio, and Saturn, or excuse me, and Capricorn. Libra, Scorpio, Capricorn energies. So 7th house, Libra. 7th house is the house of partnership. It's about compromise. It's about creating a life with someone. It's also a very easy energy being ruled by Libra and in an air sign. It's about grace and gentility. And I feel like that's something this person has. To me, one thing a lot of Libras have in common, they are the diplomat and they know how to handle themselves in different social situations. They know how to speak diplomatically. They know how to present their argument in a way that's not overly combative or aggressive. They are very kind of like demure, that TikTok phrase or whatever, like, I forget the exact one, but like, yeah, that's very Libra. They're very well behaved in that way and very well mannered, very polite. And I feel like that's something this person really has and really wants. They want to find someone who also has high standards. They want to find someone who also is kind of discerning and discriminating and not just gonna accept anything. Then we have Scorpio. This person may be very sexually attracted to you. That's also the 8th house of shared resources. So it's the 8th house where we find other people's money. This could be someone who really wants to financially provide for you or is really ready to spoil you, really ready to take care of you, and is not at all shy or scared about like, oh gosh, that's going to be a lot of money, or that's a high-end lifestyle, or oh, that's a lot of demands on me. I don't know if I can do that. Like they're happy to do that. Again, that also kind of bleeds into Capricorn, Saturn. Capricorns love a challenge. They love, having kind of a little bit of struggle or obstacles or having to work for something. And again, I feel like there's that message that with this person, you're not going to have to beg for the bare minimum. They're going to love the challenge. They're going to love to go and be above and beyond. And even the things you may think now are like, oh, that's a challenge or that's asking a lot or yeah, I don't know. My boyfriend always says that's too much and I can't like demand that of someone. This person's going to be like, "Oh, please. This is the bare minimum. This is exactly what I want to do. This is no big deal." And I'm happy, more than happy to rise to the occasion and get this done for you. So that is what I have for you. Pile number 2. I really hope that resonates. If you want to see more of my content, then be sure to check out my Patreon, where you'll find over 100 exclusive readings you'll only find on Patreon. I just posted a reading all about who is obsessed with you, as well as one all about your past lives and how they affect you now. You also get early and ad-free access to my YouTube videos as soon as you sign up, so you get to be the first to watch my YouTube videos. If that sounds good to you and you're interested in joining me on Patreon, head to the link underneath the timestamps in the comments and the description, and I would love to see you there. Also, if you're interested in booking a private session with me, you can do that at my website, briarrosetarot.com, whether you're looking for a quick half-hour reading, a full hour-length reading, whether you want it to be focused on tarot, astrology, channeling, or just a combination, whether you want it to be pre-recorded or live, you get to customize your session with me, so it's the perfect session for you. If that sounds good and you'd like to sign up, then head to my website, briarrosetarot.com, and the link for that is in my description. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I'm sending you so much love and light, and I will see you again very, very soon for another reading. Take care, guys. Bye. Hey, pile 3, welcome to your reading. So you guys got clarity, psychic abilities, and friendship. So you may already be connected with this person on the astral plane with your future spouse. A lot of you guys may tap into this person's energy. I feel like you guys are in the same soul tribe, or you may have known each other from past lifetimes. And this person may already be supporting you in your goals and in things you're trying to accomplish. They may really cheer you on when you do anything. Like they are that cheerleader up on the astral plane, kind of keeping track of you. And I also could see you guys being really good friends. Like it could be that connection where either you're friends when you meet, or I'm getting for a lot of you guys, your relationship just feels like a friendship. Like you have that instant camaraderie. You may meet and right away, like the conversation is just flowing super great, and you guys are laughing at each other's jokes and things feel easy. You know, it may not be that like butterflies in the stomach first meeting where you're like, oh, they're super attractive, but how do they feel about me? I don't, it may feel just like, oh my God, this is almost like my buddy. I know this person. Like, we get along so well. Like you may find that on your first date, you guys shut down the restaurant because you guys are talking for, 5 hours. And even though you met at, 6 p.m., next thing you know, it's 11 and they're like stacking up the chairs around you and trying to send you that message that it's time to leave. And you're like, oh my God, I lost track of time. But I feel like it feels like you guys are friends. Or I'm almost getting the vibe that when you guys were little, you may have gotten in trouble for the same things. Like maybe both of you guys were really talkative as kids, and you would get in trouble for talking during class. And you guys are both like mile a minute conversation people. Maybe you guys both have like Gemini placements or strong Mercury, and it's like you could just talk about anything and you have so many different interests, and that person is the same. And both of you may have been used to in relationships being the one to carry the conversation, being the one to, you know, be the first texter or be the one who's like, hey, we should go see this museum. And you guys like doing those kinds of Gemini things together. And then this person has that same energy and they're like super excited that they're not having to drag the conversation along because it flows so easily back and forth. And you guys both are fascinated and curious about everything. Or it may be a totally different energy. Maybe you guys are both really artistic and you guys were always in school kind of felt like the weird art kid and the teachers didn't get you and the teacher would be like, why are you scribbling during class? And that's something you have in common, because to me it just feels like you have a very similar soul impression, and it really does feel like you come from the same soul tribe, or that you guys are just so similar, or as my mom would say, simpatico, just on the same page, that when you meet, it's like there's a friend, there's an instant kind of like back and forth rapport and connection that you guys have. Like you can just talk for hours, or you guys can just instantly know how the other person feels. Maybe you've even had a lot of similar experiences dating. You may have had similar preferences. I feel like there's just so much that you guys have in common, and that's something that really never changes. Like throughout your life, if there's an event that happens, even when you're 60, you guys might still have the same sense of humor about it, or just be able to give each other a look and you guys start laughing across the room. Or you guys just love to get lost in conversation and you can spend, hours just hanging out and talking with this person, even after you've been married to them for like 20 years. And it's just like, oh, this is still my favorite person. I just still have so much fun with them, even after, or of course, hopefully the spark never ever fades. But I think, it's probably a more solid foundation than if you're just like, ooh, this person's super hot and they're super attractive. Of course, the ideal is having both those things, but I feel like the friendship to a relationship is so important. The like getting along with this person, the feeling that I feel really safe around them and I get them and I vibe with them and they vibe with me and we're just on the same page with things. Having the same sense of humor is so important. And I feel like it can get you through a lot of hard times. And that's one thing you guys definitely have in common. Again, I keep getting the vibe that this person is cheering you on when it comes to like accomplishing your goals. Maybe some of you guys have been working on getting more psychic or developing some spiritual abilities, and I feel like this person is super supportive of that. And maybe that's why you found it so easy to contact them on the astral plane, because I definitely feel like you guys contact each other up there or hang out with each other. And that's the thing that I get is like, you may have a real sense of missing this person, or they may be, I guess the message they may have for you is just how much they miss you and how much I feel like They know, they can feel your energy on some level, and that's probably what makes it hard for them to settle down with someone else, is because they can feel on the astral plane this deep connection that they have to someone. They may not even be sure who that person is, what they look like, where this is coming from, but they just know there's this resonance there. And then they go out and date and they don't feel that same resonance, they don't feel that same closeness, and because of your time spent with them on the astral plane, they know it's possible. So I feel like that has given them kind of more of a, it's almost made them raise their standards, or it's made them, you know, shoot for the stars, I want to say. Like, they realize now, I feel like that they shouldn't settle, and they may try to even date or be in serious relationships with others, but at the end of the day, they kind of know what they're missing out on, because I feel like they feel your connection up on that astral plane. I could definitely see this pile being my pile that you might not already be married or already be in a very serious relationship, but you just clicked this reading to be like, oh, let me get a message from my husband, or let me get a message from my wife. And if that's the case, yeah, definitely this person loves you. And I feel like they definitely see themselves almost like your biggest cheerleader, or someone that they just love to see you thrive. They just love to see you do well. And they're also so proud of you for all the things you've accomplished. I also feel like this person is just talking about the comfort you guys have with each other, and the fact that I feel like this person wouldn't feel that comfortable with anyone else in the world that they do with you. It's like you bring out a different side to them, and there's this deep feeling of safety that I feel like this person feels around you. I feel like for those of you guys who are single and you haven't come into union yet, this person could be saying that they are just cheering you on, like I said at the beginning, when it comes to accomplishing certain goals, when it comes to improving your life or improving yourself. This person understands it as something that you're doing for you both. So they, not to say they're making it all about them, but I feel like they understand that you doing shadow work, you working on yourself, you transforming yourself, a lot of those things are things that are going to benefit the relationship. And I feel like they are so proud of any ways that you level up or that you embrace doing the work, whether it's with your career and getting some, you know, leveling up done there, whether you're like furthering your education, or you're asking for a raise, or you're getting more work experience in a certain field, or whether it's in your spiritual work, you know, meditating every day, or working on some shadow work or some trauma work. I feel like this person is so proud of that, and they're so excited. One thing they love with you is to see you grow, to see you expand, to see you in that kind of Gemini energy that's all about learning and transforming and going on a path to expand our knowledge. That's something Gemini really loves. That Sagittarius Gemini axis really shares that love of knowledge, acquiring knowledge, learning more. And I feel like that's something this person is really encouraging you to do. That if there's any field where you want to learn more, or you're like, yeah, I've always been curious about, I don't know, life in, prehistoric Arizona or something, or yeah, or like, life in the 1200s in certain caves in like some part of the world or whatever. I feel like this person would be so encouraging of you if you're like, yeah, I really want to book this. Like, there's like this educational trip that I could take there, but it's kind of expensive. And I don't know, I really want to get my education about that, but I'm not sure. I feel like this person is cheering you on. This person wants you to embrace those challenges, and this person wants you to level up, because again, they see everything you do as actually something that benefits the relationship. And that's one thing they really love about you. They love to see you glowed up, happy, and improving yourself, working on yourself, and becoming the best version of yourself. I feel like they have such genuine love and respect for you in the way that like almost a best friend or a sibling would. You know how when your siblings do something, you just are so proud of them. You might have argued with them like just, you know, an hour before, but when you see them get some accomplishment or tick off something they really want, like there's nothing that makes you more excited. And I feel like this person has that feeling towards you, where they're literally like your biggest fan, your cheerleader, and they are sending me that message that like they know you're on certain paths to accomplish certain things, and that may even sometimes be isolating, or you may feel like you don't have anyone around you who does understand it, who does get it, or who is able to click in and be like, I get what's going on for you. But when you align with this person, when you align with the right person, you're not going to need to explain yourself, and this person is going to understand all of it without you having to say anything. So don't worry or don't lose any sleep thinking about those people that don't understand you, don't get it, or think what you're doing is a little weird, because I feel like this person, it's almost like they love your weirdness. They love your weird side. They love your quirky side. They love to laugh with you. Sometimes they may laugh at you even, or like tease you or make fun of you about certain things, but they love it at the end of the day. So don't be afraid to embrace that side and be the fullest version of you. With this person, they really want to make it clear you don't have to worry about scaring them away. You don't have to worry about doing anything that's like too much or a little crazy or like, what are you doing? That's weird. There's none of that coming from them. They are going to embrace all the weirdest parts of you, all the most you parts of you, all the parts of you that maybe you were embarrassed about or you were ashamed of, or like if you snort when you laugh and you've always been self-conscious about that, or if there's a part of your body that you're like, oh, I hate, how my arms look, or I hate my thighs, or I hate my tummy, or whatever. And like this person's probably going to be super attracted to that body part in particular, or to all of it together. And you're just going to be layered like perfect fit where they're like, oh, wow, their body is perfect. And even if you're like, oh God, how can you say that? I hate this part of myself. Like they seriously love it. I feel like they're just magnetized to you. So again, if there's any part of you that's felt like you had to put yourself into a box, change yourself, dial yourself down to make anyone else like you, that's how you're going to know that's not your future spouse, because this person loves the weirdness. They love the part of you that is like the most intense. I always compare that to like when you think of some of the most expensive food in the world versus some of the cheapest. It's like chicken fingers or mac and cheese. Those are usually pretty cheap. You can find them at like any restaurant or fast food place, and you can probably get them for under $5, and they don't really taste like much, so most people like them. Chicken fingers are good and they're tasty, and of course I love them. I'm not hating on chicken fingers, but they're not like a super intense burst of flavor or anything, right? They're kind of they just taste like fried goodness. And then you can add flavor by dipping it in a sauce, maybe some ranch, maybe some ketchup, but nothing too flavorful that's going to turn anyone off. Same with mac and cheese. It's good. It's comforting. It's not super flavorful. But then when you go to like the most expensive or the bougiest foods in the world, like caviar, like that is a very intense flavor. It tastes like intense fishiness. The little eggs burst between your teeth, and not everyone likes that. And when you think about it, a lot of those most expensive foods like pate or caviar or whatever, foie gras, those are kind of things with like a very particular taste, raw oysters that a lot of people don't like. And so in a way, when you think about that, you follow that logic, it's like, oh, the more bland I make myself, maybe the more I'm going to appeal to everyone else. But if I really want to find that person who's going to invest the most in me, who's going to be obsessed with me, who's willing to pay more for me, so to speak, metaphorically, who's willing to like do anything to get me, then I've actually got to be more flavorful. I've got to burst up the volume. I've got to crank it up. I don't want to dial myself down, but I want to make myself more intense, more weird, more off-putting to certain people, because then that kind of sorts the wheat from the chaff and lets the people who aren't that invested get out of here and go away. And so I feel like that there's that message from your future spouse towards you, that if there's a part of you that you always feel like you have to filter, or that you've been, maybe even this could be about that feeling of self-worth that I think we all have fears around. What if I'm not good enough? What if someone gets to know me and they don't really love me and they don't care enough, or they're not interested, or they see the real me and they run away? And I think those are valid fears to have, but this person is just like, girl, no, I'm going to love every part of you. There is no need to worry about being afraid or about having to hide, having to filter, having to only only show one side of yourself or, you know, make a great impression, because trust me, I'm gonna love you at your messiest. I'm gonna love you like no makeup on, just woken up, hair disheveled. I'm gonna love you when you just got done working out and you're sweaty and stinky. I'm gonna love you in every situation when you're tired and cranky, going off no sleep. When we're leaving on vacation, we had to fly on a red eye. Like, trust me, I'm gonna love every part of you. So there is no need to filter. Let's get into some tarot cards for you, pile number 3. So what messages do we have for pile 3's future spouse? The King of Wands. I'm telling you, this person is going to be so attracted to you. They're going to be very physically attracted to you as well. Like, they see you as amazing. Like, everything you do is like a turn on to them. You know, you might have one of those spouses where they've been with you for 20, 30 years, but they still like get so excited when you walk into the room. Like, they're turned on by you, everything you do. You know, they still can't get enough of you physically. They still think of you as so sexy. You know, I always think of that, and that's why I like them together. I know everyone hates them and everyone thinks they're like the worst couple, but I kind of love them. And it's Prince Charles and Camilla. And I think it's so funny because, like, I feel, especially, you know, on like TikTok and stuff, with like, sometimes Gen Z can be a little shallow, let's not lie, you know, and I'll see posts about like, how could he ever leave Princess Diana for Camilla? She's so ugly. And I always think that's so funny. Or Diana was so young. She was so young and beautiful. And Camilla's like so much older and she's ugly. And I always think that's so funny because to me, it's like, yeah, and that's something you're not getting about love. When you love someone, first of all, I don't even agree or subscribe to this idea that there's like one beauty thing and it has to be being really young and blonde or whatever. Like, that's crazy. But second of all, I do think Camilla is attractive, but when you really love someone, it goes beyond just a physical thing. It's not just physical. It's about so much more than that. And your attraction to them starts superseding that and going on to a level that's soul deep. So you're turned on by them in a way that's not just, oh, they look really good today. Although, again, I do think Camilla's an attractive woman. I don't know why people have to be so rude. But I think that it's beyond that. It's like the biggest supermodel in the world could walk past and you genuinely would be like, yeah, they're attractive. But anyway, I love this person. You know what I mean? And that's where your mind goes to. You have only eyes for that person. And I always do think it was kind of romantic, the tapes that got leaked between Prince Charles and Camilla, where he was like saying how attractive and sexy she was. And people made fun of him for that because they were very shallow and just being like, oh, well, Camilla's not that cute. And that's so crazy that people are so shallow to even say that. But that's when you know, in my opinion, it's real love. When it's been a while, when it's been years, when maybe you guys have both changed, but you're still so attracted to that person and no one can do it for you like that person. That's when you know it's like real love. And to me, that's what's coming through in this connection, is like things could change, you could grow and become different, they could grow and become different, but there's such a solidness in this connection that you don't even need to be afraid of like, oh my gosh, what if this happens? What if I change in this way? What if they meet someone who looks like this, whatever, blah, 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 because the attraction is just soul deep and nothing could even touch it. And this person really only has eyes for you and really is just turned on by everything you do. To them, you're maybe their ideal. If they have a look in their mind, whatever they're into, if they like blondes, if they like brunettes, if they like tall, short, you know, curvy, skinny, you know, old, young, whatever kind of face, whatever bone structure, whatever nose, whatever eyes, I feel like you're it. You know, you just tick their boxes in such a deep way that they are so attracted to you. Let's get some more cards for you. Pile number 3. So we want to know about pile number 3, messages from their future spouse. The Devil card, okay, and the 7 of Cups, okay. Clarify the Devil card, Spirit. What does this have to do with the 4 of Swords? And the Knight of Wands. Yeah, this person may even literally feel kind of addicted to you. This is what, when I asked to clarify the Devil, we got the Knight of Wands, which is another card that definitely talks heavily about sexual attraction, being into someone, having a crush on them. I feel like that's something for sure that's coming through strong. And this person may just literally feel like they cannot get enough of you. Like they eat, drink, sleep, think of you all the time. You're definitely on their mind 24/7. The Seven of Cups can talk about that as well. I almost feel like you guys could accomplish dreams together. You could move mountains together. And I feel like there's an energy where this person would almost do anything for you. Like they would change themselves. They would, if you were like, I think we need to be making more money, they would switch jobs or they would find a way to make that happen. If you were like, I'm not happy in this city, I want to move to blah, blah place, they may be like, okay, I'll work on that. I'll find a place. I'll find a way for me to move jobs. I'll find a way for me to get a new career in that city. I feel like this person is very devoted to you, and there may even be a level of freedom with the Two of Wands that you feel like you have in this relationship, or where you feel like you can really be yourself or do what you want to do. And that energy of having to feel like I have to be good enough, I have to filter, I have to, step up in this way, I have to become that, I have to work on myself, that may go out the window when you're with this person. With the Four of Swords, you may really feel at peace with this person. You may really feel like you can kind of let your guard down, be your most honest and transparent self. Like, I don't need to work so hard. I don't need to gain your attention. I can actually just focus on being myself and being me and kind of just relax a little, kind of just sleep and rest and chill. And yeah, I don't have to push myself so much. I don't have to twist myself into a pretzel to get this person to like me. Let me get into some messages from this person. So we got, let's see, what messages do we have from this person? I can't help but be jealous at the thought of you with someone else. So that can definitely be that Devil card energy coming through, where this person may literally get jealous and kind of obsessive. I love the family we've created. Um, they may feel life with you is so much fun. They may feel like, kind of desperate for you. I don't want to make it like too dark or too intense, but they may feel like if you are going out with someone, they kind of are that person that might check your location or something, or just, I feel like they are a little bit obsessed. I'm not saying in an unhealthy way, but I do feel like they definitely don't love the idea of you being with others because they care about you so much. And sometimes it may feel even a little smothering for you. You may have to put up a little bit of a boundary with them, or say, I need my own space, or I need you to trust me, or I don't want you checking my location, or whatever. I'm turning off my location. Because I feel like with this person, you have to understand that to a certain extent, you do wear the pants, or you do get to call the shots, and they are kind of just obsessed with you. So I feel like if you were to put down that boundary, or if you were to say, like, hey, I don't like this, they would change, they would adjust for you. It's just something they're gonna have to probably be told, and like firmly firmly be told. Let's get into some more cards. So we got being with you feels fresh and new. What messages do we have from pile number 3's future spouse? I want to protect you. Yes. And they definitely also, I feel like they want to be your hero. I feel like this person, they want to make you happy. That nothing makes them as happy as making you happy. They really live for that. And in a way, I think you give them a sense of purpose. You give them a sense of wanting to accomplish things, wanting to level up, and you really might be a little bit of a guide for them. In some ways, I feel like this person may look up to you and feel like you are a guiding force for them. Feel like you are a like portal for them that helps them step into their destiny, because I feel like you also bring the best out of them. In a way, you kind of are that person who can be stern with them, or who can tell them no, or who can give them that guidance when they need to hear it. And it's almost like no one else could inspire them in the way that they are inspired by you. They haven't been as obsessed with anyone as they are with you. So it's very overwhelming for them. And I think sometimes you almost need to be the one who's like a little patient, or who just is willing to receive all this love that this person wants to pour out for you. Sometimes it may feel a little overwhelming at times, I'm not gonna lie. Let me get into some astro dice for you. Pile number 3. What astro dice do we have? So we have Aries. Oh my gosh, third house Gemini. I've been mentioning Gemini energy coming through super strong. And then we have Pluto, aka Scorpio. So we have Aries, Gemini, and Scorpio. So let's start out with Aries. Aries is the house of the self and the first house. And I do feel like this person is saying they love to see you doing any and all self-development. Anything you do to grow, to change, to expand yourself, this person is super supportive of it. They do want to see you working on yourself. Not that they're like, oh, they need to work on themselves, they're so dysfunctional or anything, but I think that they feel like they want you to be happy. They want you to be as fulfilled as possible. They want you to have as many options as possible. And at the same time, I feel like they understand that there's so much you guys are going to share, and anything that makes you fulfilled, anything that brings you joy, I feel like this person is very supportive of. And I feel like the more authentically yourself you are, that's another thing about Aries, is it's very uncompromising. Aries at the end of the day is going to look after what it wants, its interests, its desires. It's more of a self-assertive energy. That's why technically Venus isn't super happy in Aries. But I feel like this person actually likes that. It's almost like the more independent you are, the more self-focused you are, the more you pour into yourself and your interests and your desires, the more this person is like, wow, I'm so happy with them. I'm so impressed with them. They're so amazing. And they may not love it when you fall into an energy of overgiving, or if you end up, trying to really like make them happy. This person may not like that so much, because I actually feel like they feel much more comfortable when you are just focusing on yourself, when you're doing your own thing and you are looking inwards towards what makes you happy, and you don't really pay as much attention to them. I actually think that's when they are feeling the best. So don't be afraid to focus on yourself, to take some kind of self-development course, to learn something new. And that leads us into the next energy, which is Gemini energy. And I'm getting that super strong. There's kind of this Mercury quality to you. There's a playfulness that Mercury embodies that I do feel like you guys both share. Mercury is actually a younger energy. And there is an energy where either this person could be younger than you and may look up to you in some way, or I guess you could be the younger person, and this person just loves your youthful energy. I definitely feel like there's an energy of this person looking up to you in some way. But Mercury is very playful, and it really has a great sense of humor. And I feel like you guys definitely share that sense of humor. You guys share the things you like to talk about, the things you enjoy getting into, the things you love learning about. That's something you guys majorly have in common. And of course, the third house is how you communicate, your conversational ability. Feels like the conversation just flows so well between you guys. You guys can just talk for hours about anything, get along, and there's so much that you guys share in terms of your interests, in terms of what you care about, in terms of the things you like learning about. Just so on point with that. Then we also have Pluto. Pluto rules over the 8th house and Scorpio, which is connected very much to sexuality. Again, I feel like this person is just going to be so attracted to you. Like, just a glance from you can turn them on. They are just so into you in so many different ways. They see you as so sexy. They see you as just almost like a sex god or a sex goddess. Everything you do to them is like a turn on and is exciting to them. The 8th house is also the house of shared resources. So other people's income, other people's money. So you guys really may share a lot. I feel like this person is willing to do whatever for you. So if you wanted money from them, if you were like asking them to buy you something, they'd probably be more than happy to do that. And it may be a life that you guys are really going to build together that's going to be super solid and just have a lot of interconnected kind of, yeah, shared resources that you guys have. You might buy a home together, you might share bank accounts and all that jazz. So yeah, that is what I have for you. Pile number 3. I really hope that resonates, guys. If you want to see more of my content, be sure to head to my Patreon where I post all my additional readings. There are over 100 exclusive readings you'll only find on Patreon, and you also get early and ad-free access to all my YouTube videos. I just posted a reading all about who is obsessing over you, as well as one all about your past lives and how they affect you now. But there is so much content to choose from. Like I said, over 100 readings, and you get early access to all my YouTube videos. If that sounds good to you and you're interested in signing up, head to the link underneath the timestamps in the comments and the description and join me on Patreon. Also, if you would like to book a private session with me, you can do that at my website, briarrosetarot.com. Whether you're looking for a quick half-hour reading, a full hour-length reading, an astrology session, a tarot session, an open channeling session, or a combination of all 3, whether you want it to be pre-recorded or live, you get to really customize your time with me. So it's the perfect session for you. If that sounds good and you're interested in signing up, then head to my website, briarrosetarot.com, and the link for that is in my description. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I'm sending you so much love and light, and I will see you again very, very soon for another reading. Take care, guys. Bye. Hey, pile 4, welcome to your reading. So you guys got well-being, dreams, and blessings. So I feel like you may have already met this person in your dreams. You may already be very connected to them on the astral plane for that reason. This person is coming through as very successful. I feel like this person is very ambitious. They may have accomplished a lot in their life. I'm getting like Capricorn vibes or Earth sign vibes in some way, where I could see Virgo as well, or Taurus. It just seems like for them, they definitely almost determine their own value based on what they've accomplished in life, or to a certain extent, even how much money is in their bank account. I feel like they are not someone that would feel comfortable if they weren't a success, or if they were just flailing around in life and not really doing much. That just wouldn't sit right with this person. So they are very ambitious, and they definitely take very seriously the level they're at in their life, or how they're doing, like I said, financially and in many ways. So I feel like for that reason, by the time you meet them, they probably will be quite successful. I feel like they will have accomplished a lot. And they are saying that they definitely encourage you, if there's anything you have been thinking of as like a self-improvement project or something. I hope that doesn't sound weird, but not to say that they're like, oh, you have so much to work on. But I feel like this person is that kind of person that they are always working on doing self-improvement. They are always working on, how can I be better, or what can I improve, or what can I do differently, or how can I improve my life and level up in some way. And I feel like they like that about you. They like your ambition. If there's ever been a part of you that has felt like you had to hold your ambition back, maybe in certain relationships, you felt like, oh, if I say that, they'll think I'm bougie, or they'll think I'm too demanding, or they'll think I'm full of myself or stuck up. You definitely don't have to worry about that with this person. They also just told me that message that for them, life is an adventure, and life with you is going to be an adventure. They love to learn things with you, go new places. I feel like you guys may definitely travel together. And I am getting a message that for some of you guys who picked this pile, you may meet this person later in life. So you may be over the age of like 40 when this person comes in. It may not be a relationship where you meet when you're super young, although take what resonates, leave the rest. It's a general reading. Only apply what resonates with you. So if you're like, no, I don't feel like that's right, then that's totally fine. I just feel like what's interesting is I feel like by the time you guys come into each other's lives, it's almost like you both have a fully formed identity or a fully formed life, or you both lived your own life. It doesn't feel like it's this precious new relationship and we're kind of growing together. It feels like I have my identity, you have your identity, I have my success, and to a certain extent, you have your success. You've accomplished things, you've lived your own life, and I'm okay with that. And I've accomplished things and I've lived my own life. And I feel like because of that, there's almost this sense of relief as well, because it's not like you're searching for each other to make each other have an identity. You know, I think sometimes when you're young and dating and you don't know who you are, you're still kind of looking to like figure out who you are and through this other person. And sometimes that can be really beautiful and you end up growing together with the person. I just don't feel like that's the vibe here. It feels like I'm already really okay with who I am. I have success, I'm settled. And when you come in, like you just add to that success, or you just add to me feeling like I'm in a great place in my life. And it's almost like you don't need each other. You want each other, you know? You're not with this person because you're desperate or because you're lonely. It feels like I choose to be with this person. You know, I have other options, and maybe I'm even okay with being alone. Maybe I have been alone, but I'm good. And I'm at that place where now I can welcome in this relationship and really welcome it in, and not because I'm just desperate and I want someone and I don't really care who it is, but like I have had lots of options, I've seen lots of things, and I choose to be with this person. So yeah, I feel like this person is the type that they might book a trip last minute and be like, hey, pack your bags, we're going somewhere, I'm not going to tell you where, dress for warm weather or something, and then they fly you to Thailand. Or if you mentioned you really wanted to try bungee jumping, they take you to this part of South America that's famous for bungee jumping. You know what I mean? I feel like they love to take you places and explore with you. And you guys may literally be like adventure buddies, adventure partners, where maybe you love to be outdoors together. You might love to hike together or work out together, or you guys might both be really into healthy cooking, or eating healthy meals, or eating vegan, or trying a new food like diet. Like maybe you go carnivore for a week and see how you feel, and then go vegan for a week and see how you feel. I feel like you guys are both maybe a little health conscious, or you might be the types to just love to do your best for the heck of it. You know, you guys might both like to dress well for the sake of that and make a good impression for the sake of it. Or you might both be very ambitious with career and jobs and have similar financial goals of like wanting to own properties, or wanting to own investment properties, or wanting to have side hustles. And I could definitely see you guys working together with that and actually creating that. So building that business together, or opening a, you know, company together, or investing in something together. I feel like this person and you may also help each other level up. Like this person feels like they are very wise and they probably know what they're doing a lot when it comes to money. So they may also be able to give you really good advice when it comes to your career. So they may be able to tell you if you were like, yeah, so this is something, you know, this is the place I'm at with my job and blah, blah, blah. Like this has been kind of hard, but I really like this. And they might be that person who's like, okay, well, bring this up to your boss, or ask for your raise and do it this way. Mention that, say this, and really be able to kind of guide you and help you on that path of becoming your best version of yourself, accomplishing all the things that you want to accomplish, not just like allowing yourself to stay in a stuck or stagnant energy. I feel like this person is always kind of encouraging you to get better, to do better, and they may also be very helpful with you to do that. You know, it kind of reminds me, I had heard this story of, I think Naomi Campbell had a boyfriend, like this Russian billionaire or something, and I don't know, either it was she who said it or he who said it, but he built a house for her in Russia, in the woods of Russia. And I think it was he who said, I just want to be able to wake up and look at the sky. So so he met with this famous architect, Zara Hadid, I think, and she was like, oh, well, we'll just design this. And she scribbled it on a napkin, and it had like this raised part of the house that goes up way above the trees, way higher than the rest of the house. And so that's the bedroom. So you can have this like panoramic view of the forest. Anyway, I think that was Naomi Campbell's boyfriend, and apparently he built the house for her. I don't think she got to keep it when they broke up, too bad, but because it's like $100 million house. But he still built it for her, which is pretty nice. I'm not saying this person's going to build you $100 million house. That would be great. But I am saying I feel like that kind of vibe where if you said, oh, I want to wake up and be able to look at the sky, they might be like, bet, let me make that happen. Let me see what I can do. Let me try to work that out. Or if you said, I really want to be making more money, at my career, they might be able to give you guidance or be like, well, let me talk to my friend. He works in a similar field. Maybe I could get you an interview. I feel like this person is definitely a doer. That may be their love language, like acts of service. And they may be very good about, like, if you say you want something, they're happy to step in and do it. I do feel like this person, you may have to literally give them like direct guidance. You may have to be very blunt with them, because I feel like this person's coming across as a bit of a straight talker. Like they are the type to really kind of need you to say or to tell them up front what you want from them. But I feel like this person is just saying that they are happy to spoil you, and they're also happy to see you accomplish things. They love to see you accomplish things. And if there's anyone in your life that you're dating or romantically involved with who has tried to sabotage you, who isn't really feeling comfortable when you're doing super well, sometimes if you're dating someone and they're not as successful as you, they may try to make you feel bad about it. They could be dating you, but jealous of you the whole time. They could be dating you, but secretly low key trying to sabotage you and trying to, get back at you and humble you and make you feel bad about yourself. And this person is saying, if you have dated anyone like that or been around anyone like that, it's because they're actually afraid of your potential. And I feel like that's this message that this person has for you. They may have had to overcome people's judgments, hater energy, people who didn't want the best for them, people who were threatened by them. And I feel like that's why they won't kind of tolerate that in their life anymore, because they have been around people like that and they know how low down and dirty they are. And that's why they're just like, no thanks, I'm not interested. Like, don't bring that energy around me, because no, just no. And so I feel like with you, they definitely love the fact that you have some optimism. You're not a hater. You have ambitions and dreams of your own, and they would never try to hold you back from that or make you feel bad about any of that. They want you to do those things. So they are saying they do care about your health as well. They want you to eat relatively healthily. I'm not saying for any body reasons, but I feel like health is very important for this person. They want someone who takes care of themselves mentally, physically, and in every way. So they want someone who is in good mental health and has a good emotional regulation. And they also want someone who is able to look after. I feel like in a way for them, like cooking, they love when someone makes them a really good meal. Like that's a love language for them for receiving. They love to be on the receiving end of like a delicious meal. And for them, because they do eat healthy, I feel like they would want you to eat healthy as well, or be able to cook healthy. This person is saying, listen, if you don't want to accomplish a lot in life, then get off the ride now. They're showing me a roller coaster, and like when the roller coaster comes back and then they release the seat things that hold you down, and the seat things kind of flip up mechanically out of the roller coaster. That's what they're showing me of like, hey, get off this ride, because we're going up to the top. We're going to accomplish a lot. We're going to do things. We're going to go places. And they want someone who's going to be able to be along with the ride, support them, and they want someone that they can uplift in that way as well. Let me get into some tarot for you. Pile number 4. Let's see. So we got the 8 of Wands reversed, the Wheel of Fortune reversed, the 2 of Swords, this one is the 8 of Cups, as well as the 3 of Swords. And let's get another card. The High Priestess. So they really may be feeling your psychic abilities through the astral plane. They may feel like they can access you in that dream state. And I feel like this person, it's almost like your support means a lot to them as well. I feel like they see you as someone who is a doer, an accomplisher, but also very supportive, very emotionally supportive for them. And they really love that about you. I also feel like with the Eight of Wands being reversed, they may be saying that this relationship may not move super fast. They may not be that person that rushes in to ask you out right away. And in fact, maybe when you guys first meet, there you may feel like there's a bit of mixed signals, or like, do they like me? I don't even know, because I thought they liked me, but I can't really get the vibe. I can't really tell for sure. Like, sometimes I think they like me, sometimes I think they don't really care. I feel like with that Eight of Wands being reversed, there may be like a slow burn energy happening, or an energy where at first when you meet them, you're kind of confused. You're like, are they into me? Do they actually see me that way? Do they see me in a romantic light? And I feel like that's in a way because this person may not have as much confidence, or they may be the kind of person who is, especially around you, like when they're serious about something, they're not quickly gonna run in because they'd be afraid of ruining it. Again, they're giving me earth energy, which is very slow and steady, especially when they want something. They're gonna go about it methodically. They're gonna be going about it carefully. They're not gonna rush in and ruin it and just do it because of their emotions. They're gonna keep their head about them and make sure that they're taking each step very carefully. Think of Capricorn energy, the mountain goat. That's how the mountain goats climb up these crazy rock faces, cliff faces with like no ledges. It's because they take each step so carefully. They look at each little tiny slip of rock and they'll find like, oh, that has a tiny ledge for me to rest my hoof on. And then they climb up a sheer cliff face that no one else could climb up in the world, no other animal, because they're willing to take their time with it and be careful and take each step by step. And I feel like that's how this person is. So don't mistake it if at first they're not coming in hot, they're not really being overly aggressive. That doesn't necessarily mean that they're not into you, and they may very much take it slow and steady when they first meet you. I feel like this person's message for you with that Wheel of Fortune card being reversed could also be about how you're being refined by now or transformed by the universe. Again, this person is saying they may not come in super early in life, or they may not come in when you're super, super young, fresh, wide-eyed, bushy-tailed, excited about everything. And one of the things that happens with age that I think is a benefit, is sometimes you are a little more jaded. You are a little more closed off. You know that not necessarily everything is going to come out 100% perfect all the time. You've kind of seen the hardship of life a little bit more. And again, this person is saying that's not a bad thing. They're not like, oh, I just want someone who's just not jaded at all. They understand that there have been disappointments for you. And I feel like this person is saying you are becoming a better person because of this soul growth work, because of the change, because of the way you have been willing to take on the hardships or learn those difficult lessons or embrace the difficulty. That is a thing that is actually making you more attractive in their eyes, not less attractive. So you don't have to worry about just seeming smiley and happy all the time. If you are going through a Wheel of Fortune reverse moment where it seems like nothing is working out for you, or your luck has run out, or whatever, just know that that is happening to refine you, to make you better. And this energy is going to shift and change. And maybe this energy, this person could come in as a reward at the end of it after you've been through all this hardship. I feel like they like the person you're becoming. I think one of the hardest things when we're going through a hard time is wondering like, oh, at least I wonder about this. Is this changing who I am? Am I going to be a shell of myself at the end of this? Am I going to be some awful version of myself that's super depressed and my soft spirit is going to be smashed out of this? Am I just going to turn into this jaded person and I'm not going to have any joy or happiness? And the reality is, when I look back at all my hard times, yes, I have survived, and no, I didn't turn into some jaded, horrible person, but I'm probably tougher than I am I'm probably tougher now than I was, and that's probably a good thing. And I feel like that's what's happening for you. So don't be afraid to embrace these hard lessons. Don't be afraid to let yourself be a little bit transformed, because I feel like this person is excited to see the person you are at the end of it. They don't love you in spite of your problems or in spite of any difficulties or growth you've been through, but because of that, they actually may be attracted more to maturity, mature women or mature men, and they don't want someone who's going to be just giggly all the time and thinks everything's awesome. So don't be afraid to kind of show that side of yourself, or embrace the work, or be willing to transform yourself or go through the hardships. Let's get some message cards for you, pile number 4. What messages do we have from pile 4's future spouse? So this one says, I love the way you speak. So they may literally be very attracted to your voice, or the way you move when you're speaking, the way your lips move, the way your mouth moves when you're speaking. Pile 4. We have the same sense of humor. Okay. What messages do we have from pile number 4? Life with you is so much fun. And I want to protect you. Okay, so these both want to come out. I want to travel the world with you, and I can't wait to start a family with you. Wow. I almost feel like this person could come into your life when you guys both have families, but I definitely am feeling the I want to travel the world with you vibes. I feel like this person probably loves to travel and probably loves to kind of spoil you, or this is the thing. I think this person likes, yeah, maturity is a word for it. Sophistication is another word for it. I also feel like they're the kind of person that wants someone who can kind of keep up with them. Like if they go out to like a really nice restaurant, they don't want someone who's never eaten at a nice steakhouse before, or who doesn't know which fork to use, or is going to get super confused about what glass is the wine glass or the water glass. They want someone who kind of knows their stuff. And so I think for that reason, they kind of want someone who's a little bit older or just more sophisticated. Of course, you can be young and still sophisticated, but they want someone who's going to be able to enjoy those parts of life as much as they do. They want someone who's going to be able to really relish it and who realizes how special it is. I feel like this person works a lot. They're kind of a workaholic. So in their off time, they really value being able to decompress and being able to take a load off and just relax. They really value being able to kind of enjoy the fruits of their labor. And I feel like they want to be with someone who is interesting to talk to, is someone who makes them laugh, someone who they feel like they can learn from. I feel like they are very fascinated by your mind. They're very fascinated by how you think, and they think of you as someone who's very bright, very intelligent, and they want to be with someone who kind of sparks their intellectual curiosity as well as the physical. And I feel like you definitely have that. Even your spirituality, I feel like, is very intriguing to them, especially if you are going deeper into any kind of spiritual knowledge, astrology, meditation, maybe tarot, whatever the case may be. I feel like that's also a turn on from them, because they kind of love being able to learn from someone, especially because they may be very powerful in the field they're in. They may be used to being the one who's the authority figure and kind of having people look up to them. And it may be a real relief to them to have someone that they can actually look up to, they can learn from, and kind of having that power balance flip on its side. I feel like this person does have a lot on their shoulders. They have a lot of pressure, and it's almost like at home, they don't want to also be the main authority and be the one who's calling the shots. I feel like naturally this person is authoritative, but they're also happy to kind of defer to you or listen to you and let you say what you want. And I feel like they are happy to accomplish those things for you. Like I said, if you say, I'd really love to go to Paris, they may be that person that is like, oh, I can't wait to book that trip and plan it. And, book us really good seats or find a really nice hotel room. And they kind of love the challenge of that. They kind of love making you happy. So, yeah, I feel like they have achieved success in their life and they now want to kind of enjoy it a little bit more and have fun with that a little bit more. Let me get into some astrology dice for you. Pile number 4. What messages do we have from pile 4's future spouse? So, we got the 3rd house. We got the nodes, and oh, that one flipped over on its side. Okay, and then we have Gemini energy. Okay, so double Gemini. Let me spin this one more time. There's a lot of Gemini, but okay, Leo, perfect. So with Gemini and Leo coming out. So let's start with Leo. Leo, of course, is the center of attention. Leo is the person that shines as brightly as possible. It's also connected with the masculine and with achievement, success, accomplishing things. So I feel like with this person, they are someone who definitely is used to commanding attention, being the center of attention in the room. But Leo's also relationships that can feel kind of short-lived or aren't necessarily the long-term relationships, but are just super fun and super enjoyable, and also about finding your own talent. So I feel like with this person, they want that relationship that feels really lighthearted, maybe because they're used to so much heaviness in their work life, in their daily life. They may feel like, I am used to dealing with so much pressure all the time, and I just want to be able to relax. I just want to be able to enjoy. I just want to be able to have a really good time, and that may be something they find with you. Also, Leo is the house of the self. It's the house of personal interests and hobbies we have that are for us, creative hobbies. I feel like, again, this person's ideal version of you is the version that's a little bit selfish, is the person that pursues their own interests, is working on self-development, is working on leveling up. And there's a bouginess to Leo. Leo loves to show off. So this person may literally love you when they feel like they can show you off, when they feel like you're looking extra good, when they feel like you've been pampering yourself, you've been doing self-care, you've been looking after yourself. That may be their favorite version of you. And I feel like as well, anytime you level up an interest, anytime you get better and you take your pottery class, or you take your painting class, or you do your singing class, or you do your golf lessons, this person loves that. They love to see someone working on their hobbies, feeling very alive, getting the most out of life, and really enjoying their passions. That's really what Leo is all about. That 5th house is the house where we find our passions. So interestingly, then we have the nodes, and I say the nodes because this is technically, as it is, the south node, but you can see the line underneath it says this should be the north node. So after a little deliberation, I guess I'm going to kind of read both sides of that. So with the South Node, I feel like this person, in a way, I feel like they've had some hard lifetimes. They've had some heavy energy around them. They've had to go through a lot. This may also connect, that could be a metaphor Spirit is giving for like their old relationships in this lifetime. Like it may have felt like they lived many lifetimes in this lifetime, because maybe they had another marriage and kids and they had this whole other life. And now that's very different. But I feel like they want to be able to, it's almost like because they lived such a life of duty, or they lived such a life of expectation, they really want to be able to make the most out of it. They really want to be able to live their life to the absolute fullest and to get as much out of it as possible. They are not in that energy anymore of just wanting to kind of serve others and do what everyone expects of them. Now they really, really, really want to live life on their own terms, and that's so important for them. And I think that's also why they expect or accept you having your own life, you having lived your life and done things and accomplished things and having had success, having had other relationships. That's completely okay with them. So they're saying, again, focus on yourself in the meantime. That could be a delay in this person coming in. They could be like tying up a soul contract they have with this other person that they may have very well known from another lifetime or from another era in their consciousness. And then with it being turned upright into the North Node, that does talk about your active destiny in this lifetime. So you guys may have a destined connection that you're supposed to meet and transform each other and help each other grow in some major way. I do feel like I'm getting the vibe that you guys could both be each other's reward after having lived a like heavier part of life, more of an intense part of life, or a life maybe more filled with those difficult lessons. And once those lessons are over, that's when this person is able to align into your life and vice versa. So maybe that's why this person had the message about the Wheel of Fortune card reversed, where don't be afraid to embrace those challenges or the hard lessons, because trust me, that's a whole part of the process, that's a whole part of the plan, and there is absolutely nothing wrong with it, and you will get your reward at the end of it. And what goes up must come down. Anytime your life is going bad or going difficult, just know that the rewards will be even greater in response to that and in proportion to it. Then we have the third house, aka Gemini. Gemini is a very inquisitive energy, a very curious energy. Gemini loves to learn, loves to expand their consciousness, loves to have great conversation as well. I feel like good conversation is really important to this person. They do feel super smart to me, so I feel like they also prioritize intelligence in a partner. They want someone that they can talk to who isn't just going to be like giggling and not having any idea what's going on, but who can actually respond with like a substantive response and give advice or share their knowledge. They want someone who kind of challenges in them in that way, or who can at least keep up with them in that way. So I feel like this person really values someone who's very smart, someone who's curious, someone who's always learning. That's super, super important to this person. And they want to find a partner who's also on that same level, who's equally curious about the world. And like I said, might travel to like learn about something, might travel like, hey, let's go to Prague and learn about, you know, the history of this country in the 1600s, and let's do a little historical tour around town or whatever. I feel like this person loves that. They love to learn. They're very inquisitive, and they want to find that in a partner as well. So that may be something you guys definitely bond over. And of course, the third house shares that axis with the ninth house for Sagittarius, very connected with travel in that sense as well, because we do learn so much through travel. So again, I get that heavy travel vibe that this person is going to love to travel with you, love to explore the world with you, and you guys are kind of going to be partners in crime. So that is what I have for you, pile number 4. I really hope that resonates, guys. If you want to see more of my content, then be sure to head to my Patreon, where I post all my additional readings. I just posted a reading all about who is obsessed with you, as well as one all about your past lives and how they are affecting your current life. But like I said, there's over 100 exclusive readings you'll only find on Patreon, and you also get early and ad-free access to all my YouTube videos, so you get to be the first to watch my YouTube videos. If that sounds good to you and you're interested in signing up, then head to the link underneath the descriptions and the timestamps, and well, underneath the timestamps in the description and in the comments, and join me on Patreon. I would love to have you there. Also, if you would like to book a private session with me, you can do that at my website, briarrosetarot.com. Whether you're looking for a quick half-hour session or a full hour-length session, whether you want it to be astrology, tarot, channeling, a combination, whether you want it to be pre-recorded or live, you get to really customize your time with me. So it's the perfect session for you. If that sounds good, then head to my website, briarrosetarot.com, and sign up there. So I am sending you guys so much love. I will be back again very, very soon for another reading. So take care, guys, and I will see you soon. Bye.